Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So I've done my half marathon. Oh my god, I did it. So yeah, I did it yesterday. So this is the day after. I'm feeling very sore. Very sore. I could hardly get down the stairs this morning, let alone sit on the toilet and have a wee. So that was fun. Yeah, I did it and it was great actually. I really enjoyed it. I think it'll be something that I make a regular thing, like maybe twice a year. I'd like to run a half marathon, and the one that I did was at Thetford Forest, and that was just the best setting to be in ever. It was so beautiful there, and the scenery was great, the vibe was great. Everyone was really excited. I was so nervous before though. It's so nerve-wracking when you run a race, especially when you've had like a few years break like I did. So I hadn't ran a race for 2 years, and my one and only and first race that I ever did was just a 10k. Like a 10k race is still a big deal, a 5k race is still a big deal. You know, like just because I've done a half marathon and that's like the longest distance I've ever done, it doesn't mean that like smashing a 5k or a 10k isn't a big deal. But yeah, I did it yesterday and I smashed it, to be fair. Like, considering it was a trail run and I hadn't done much trail training at all, I literally did 2 runs in my local nature reserve area. I did 2 runs with the dog, and each run was around 5 or 6k, so that's all like the hill training and like running on mud, grass and uneven ground that I'd done, which is pretty crazy to think that yesterday I literally did almost, well, when you do a half marathon it's supposed to be just over 21 kilometers, but I think the trail that I did yesterday, so we did 4 loops of 5.3k it was supposed to be, so that would make up your 21k, but my watch actually calculated it as 23.38 kilometers, or 14 and a half miles. So yeah, it was well over like half marathon. So I don't know who was measuring that or what they did wrong, but it was way over. But I think like when you do a race like around woodlands and things like that, where there's lots of twists and turns and bends, like it must be hard to measure it anyway and to make it like completely perfect. But I found that every race that I've done, they've literally been over the distance amount that they claim it is. Like when I did my 10k race, that was almost 12 kilometers when I calculated it on my GPS. And yeah, same again yesterday, so it was like over 1.5 kilometers more. Well, I guess 2.5 more kilometers than they said it would be. But that might have just been me and the way that I was running around corners and things like that, because you know, if they tell you to run on the left so that other people can go past you on the right, the faster people. So I guess keeping to the left, and if you're going round all the bends on the left side, it was, I guess, the wider bends, so it would calculate more distance at the end. But yeah, it went really well and I'm really proud. I've got my medal here for anyone that wants to see. So, fear for forget everything and run. And then they also put this on there which says first half marathon, which is really cute. So yeah, it's a hefty medal. It's really nice. But yeah, I love that, and that's gonna go in my collection, and now I've got the bug for it. Yeah, my next race is already booked. I'm doing the London Vitality 10k. Which that's going to be a big one. I'm doing that with my friend and it's going to be her first race ever, which I'm really excited for it. She's really excited for it. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot busier in London because it's I guess a more popular place to run, a more popular place to join in a race and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited for that, but I just can't believe that I did it. Like it's crazy. I ran a half marathon, like it's mad. But yeah, very sore today. Just wanted to talk through a few bits of basically what went well, what didn't go so well. So obviously from what you've seen, I didn't really have a strict training plan. I literally just decided just over a month ago that I would do this. And originally it was just going to be a race against myself. I wasn't actually going to join an official race or anything, but then when I saw the race come up on my feed, I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to enter it, and I'll go and I'll see if it goes well, and if it doesn't, then that's also fine. But yeah, so what went well, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes right now. What went well is that I did it in 2 hours and 50 minutes. I wanted to do it in 2.5 hours as a first time half marathon and as a beginner as well. But I think what slowed me down was definitely because it was a trail run, not road running. I feel if it would have been road running on mainly flat, then I would have definitely been able to get that time. But I was happy that it was a trail run, even though there was lots and lots of hills, and they were like killer hills. Like they just seemed like the elevation was I'll put a picture on now, screenshot, sorry. The elevation was like, you know, like ever so slight, but it felt like the hills went on forever and ever. But it also meant that you know, what goes up must come down. So you would have like the longest hill up, but then as soon as you like got to the top of it, you'd see like one of the marshals there, and there was this one lady at the top of the highest hill, and her face was literally my favourite face, because I knew once I saw her, I could like have a little bit of a break from the hill, and it would just be downhill running, like, and you would fly down, which was great because then you could kind of work on your speed and like picking up your time a bit better. So yeah, I did it in 2 hours 50. But also went well. Yeah, again, the location, like Thetford Forest, if you ever get to do that run, so you could have, on the day yesterday, you could have done a 5k, you could have done a 10k or a 15k, or then next was the half marathon, and then the marathon, and there was also people there that were doing ultra marathons as well, and they were so quick, guys. They were literally like the fastest runners you've ever seen, and literally like they were just lapping all of us, like boom, boom, boom. It was crazy, but yeah, really inspirational. But yeah, I liked that it was that kind of race that you just had the full 6 hours from 9 o'clock. If you started at 9, you had 6 total hours to be on the track, and you could basically go around the loop as many times as you wanted. And some people literally went around like 14, 15 times, which was crazy. I don't even know how far that distance would have been. But yeah, they were really crazy people, and you could tell that they've been doing this for a long time, and that's exactly what it takes to get to that stage. But yes, it's inspiring. Also, what else went well? I was very well prepared. I had everything ready in my pack. I had my new running belt, which had my little water bottles either side, and also my gels in there. I took 4 gels with me. I actually gave one of my gels away on my last lap, which I was kicking myself for. But do you know what? There was a man and he was really struggling. He was all cramped up, and I said, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Oh, I've got the worst cramp ever, and I just can't move my muscles." And you know why you get cramp, guys? Because you haven't got any glycogen, glucose. Like, your muscles need that fuel. And he literally hadn't brought anything with him. He hadn't brought any gels. He didn't have a running belt, a vest, anything. He didn't bring any water. So hello. So I gave him my last gel because I just felt so bad for him, and I was like, "Come on, buddy, like, you need to suck that gel up and get on with it, because you've got to get up this hill." And he was so appreciative that I'd given him my last gel. But yeah, I hope he was okay. So yeah, packing was really good. I had everything laid out and prepared the night before. Also, I woke up a lot of times the night before. I didn't have the best sleep. I think I was just nervous, and also I kept thinking, I need to drink water, and also the night before I'd had a few gin and tonics, so it was just like, I don't want to be dehydrated or hungover for this run, because that would be bad. But yeah, and I had my breakfast, I had my fuel before I went. I made my oats and I took them in the car because I was so worried about being there on time. And I ate them in the car, and then yeah, and I didn't run with any music, which is really strange for me. Like, the whole 2 hours 50 minutes I literally was just enjoying being in the moment, enjoying chatting here and there with people that were running by. Like, everyone was so nice and like supportive. Like, even all the fast runners, like, as they run past, they'd just be like, "Oh, well done," and you know, "You got this." And just everyone was just there for each other. Like, and if anyone stopped, they needed help, people would help them. And yeah, it was great. It was nice to be a part of. What else? Yeah, so distance. I did much further distance than I've ever done, and I ever expected to do yesterday. So 14.5 miles. That's just that just blows my mind that I've actually run that on these little legs and these little feet. Size 4.5. Okay, 4.5 is small. I don't know how these feet got through it. Also, my shoes. I had the Asics Trabuco 12s. I think, are they Trabuco Gel 12s? Yeah, they were incredible. Like, the grip on them was so good, and they were so comfortable. I only had like one sore bit of my foot, like on the inside next to the big toe, but I think that's just my running style and the way that I put my foot out, which I'm trying to straighten my right foot up a bit, because I've noticed, like, when I walk or when I run, my right foot tends to go out, and then that's what makes my shoes hurt me, which is very bad. And you need to just try sort it out, straighten your foot out, and you'll be a lot more comfortable. But yeah, what didn't go so well was timing. Like, it doesn't matter how early you leave in the morning or how early you think you need to leave, whether you've calculated the route, you've calculated the time it'll take you to get ready, showered in the morning, and calculated time to have breakfast, blah blah blah. Like, I did all of that, and I thought I had enough time, and as soon as we were like 20 minutes away from the race start, the car park I'm in, there was a traffic jam, and I was literally sat there like, oh my god, I've literally got 20 minutes before the race is going to start, we haven't even parked yet. Yeah, so then as soon as we'd parked, I had to pay for parking, and then didn't know where the start line was, so I had to go and find that was stressful. Needed a wee. Also had to listen to the race briefing, because you've always got to listen to that. You don't want to be like running around not knowing what to do, which was a good point that I did, because it was in 5k laps, so I had to do 4 laps to make up the half marathon. so 5.3 times 4 basically, and they said that we needed to go through the right checkpoint, run around it in order for the chip to read, because on the bib, or sometimes you get it on your shoe actually. For my first race I had the chip tied to my shoe, but this time it was just on the bib, which was easy, so just had to pin the bib on. But my nerves and how I was shaking, like trying to get that bib on, I had to get Simon to help me to put it on, and I was just so stressed. I was like, the pins don't work, and he was like, no, it's fine. He was trying to hold the dog because we brought the dog with us because I didn't want to leave him at home, felt too bad. And yeah, so timing, definitely. Whatever amount of time that you think you need and you've planned out, literally add like another half hour, 40 minutes to that, because if I'd have got there and had just 20 minutes to half an hour to just chill, breathe, say hello to everyone, like, yeah, then that would have been so much better, just to find your bearings. But literally I was like, I was having a wee, and literally I could hear from the porta potty the race briefing and what the guy was saying and how we were to do things. So I'd literally wee, stop, listen, wee, stop, listen, and yeah, so I'm surprised that I got on well at all. I hate being late to anything. Also, what wasn't so good is that I didn't bring enough water with me. So my little water bottles that went in my running belt, they're very good, very cute, but I just didn't bring enough water with me. They only held 300 millilitres of water each, and I filled them with my electrolytes. And yeah, I was so thirsty, like you don't realise how thirsty you get. And there was the only checkpoint for refilling your water was back at the start, so you literally run 5k before you could refill your water again. And each time I went around the loop, I was so determined to get on with the next loop round again, that I completely forgot to refill my water. And then I was like, I can't go back, because if I go around that starting checkpoint again, it's going to read my chip and then it's going to count my loop as that, which isn't right. So I didn't want to do that, so I was literally kicking myself every time I went round another lap. And I was so thirsty, and I was having gels and they're so sticky and sweet and nothing to wash it down. It literally just felt like my mouth was it was not cool. But yeah, bring a big enough water bottle, or like, you know, people had running vests on, but the thing is about the vests is that they're very good and they hold a lot, and you can put the big walk bag in the back and just have like the little straw out. But I couldn't take that because I didn't know where I could then pin my race number, you know, like your little thing that you get with your race number, and that had the chip in it as well. And they say like you've got to make sure that that's visible at all times so that people know who you are, and it's just really important that you do that. So yeah, I didn't bring my vest because I didn't want to not know where to pin my running number, because I wanted everyone to know who I was and that I was there to run. And it's all about the me show, you know. But it's not. But yeah, for next time I would definitely, if I was going to go as far as a half, I would definitely consider a way that I can get more water, or just make sure that I don't forget to refill at the water stations, because that was very, very silly. And at the end of it I was very thirsty, and I asked the woman for a refill of orange squash about 8 times, and she actually was getting really aggy with me for it. She wasn't getting really aggy with me at all, but she just was kind of like, oh, why are you still here? So yeah, also it would probably be quite cool to bring a friend along and do that kind of distance, just so I don't feel like I'm alone. But I feel like that's very different, because you're always going to have someone that's either slower than you or, you know, isn't going to be the exact same fitness level as you, which is the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is that it doesn't matter how fast you are, or like how it doesn't matter how fast or slow you think you are. Like, once you're in that racing situation, you literally don't know how it's going to go. And also what I've always found is when you train on your own, you feel like, oh, I'm so slow, like I don't know how I'm going to compare to the other runners. The thing is that if you're not, we're not all ultra marathon runners, like we're not all going to compare to them, that they're literally like, they've been training for years to do that, and you could also train for years to do that. Also, some people are just naturally gifted, like they've got much longer limbs than us, they can they've got a much better stride than us. Yeah, so just always think, like, it doesn't matter how slow you are, like you can do the distance. Like when I was doing my first lap of the 5k, it's literally like, there was this lady and she asked me, oh, what are you doing today, how far are you going? And I said, oh, I'm just doing a half. And I felt so silly when I said, oh, just a half, because then she was like, no, it's not just a half, like that's really good. And then she said, oh, I'm doing an ultra marathon. And then I was like, oh God, like, yeah, how do I compare to you? I was like, yeah, it's just a half. But she was walking on her first lap. Like, is that something that they do to warm up? And there was also a lot of people that seemed like they were literally sprinting on the flat, and then they were walking up the hill, so they didn't have to run uphill. But I literally was like, running is running. Like, to me, running is running, and if I'm running, then I'm gonna try not to stop. Like, it's not a walking race. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you have to walk, and I did have to walk a couple of times towards the end because I was in so much pain in my knees and my quads, but if you have to walk, that's fine, that's absolutely fine. But for me personally, like, this has all been about endurance and being able to put myself through that mentally, and having the mental strength, building that up, and just wanting to prove that to myself. So yeah, I didn't stop to walk until about 20 kilometers, and then my last 3 kilometers I walked probably, sorry, there's a dog hair on my nose, I probably walked 3 or 4 sets of 3 to 5 minutes, and I never walked for too long, because, and if I did walk, I was literally fast-paced walking, like, because I did not want to lose the momentum, because I feel once your legs and your body is in that much pain, as soon as you stop and you slow down, your body's like, this is good, this is nice, this is what you need to protect yourself. And then it's honestly so much harder to try and pick your legs back up and get moving again. Your legs feel like 20 tons heavier. So just keep going, focus on your breathing. Like, if you feel that you're really out of breath, you have to stop, like, just rein it in, calm it down, slow it down. Don't completely stop, because you'll probably most likely kick yourself for it. And we don't want to be kicking ourselves, guys, because we are smashing our goals. We are, you know, we're getting everything done. We're getting these things done that we want to do, and we don't need to be kicking ourselves, putting ourselves down, making ourselves feel like we're not good enough, because we are good enough, and you can do anything that you set your mind to. With that in mind, I wouldn't recommend doing what I've just done, even though I'm very happy and proud that I've done it. I really wouldn't recommend going, like, I went from couch to 5k to running a half marathon in just over a month, and I really wouldn't recommend anyone else do that. It's been very tough, it's been very hard. I didn't follow a proper training plan. I think if I did follow a training plan, I wouldn't have got injured a few weeks ago. Also, I wouldn't have I would have got a better time yesterday, and yeah, it would have been a lot safer. And I'm very lucky that I didn't come out of there yesterday with any other injuries. I'm actually quite surprised that my hip feels actually pretty wonderful. Yeah, I thought that my hip would completely seize up and I wouldn't be able to go to work tomorrow. But yeah, that's another tip. If you're doing your first long race, like a half marathon or a marathon, please book the day off work the next day, because you will be sore and you won't be able to hardly walk. Literally, like this morning I went to walk the dog and he was like, what the hell is wrong with you, woman? Like, why can't you walk? I was literally like, peg leg. I feel better on now that today's gone on, but if you have a very physical job, then do not go to work the next day after a half marathon or a marathon, ultra marathon. Don't do it, you will be kicking yourself. So yeah, follow a proper training plan. You'll find that a lot of the races that you enter will provide you with a training plan. Like, I know the London Vitality race, they send out a training plan. I don't know if it's weekly or I think it's weekly. They send you a weekly plan and it's all like in a spreadsheet, and that's what they advise you to follow week by week. These are your runs, this is what you do. But also like Couch to 5k, Couch to 10k, like I swear by those, they're the best. I didn't do well with Couch to 5k at first because I didn't like the idea of someone talking to me and telling me what to do. So that was difficult, but in the end I got into it. And then when I finally started running without that little voice in my head saying, you can do this, you only got 30 seconds to go, I thought it was pretty weird that I didn't then hear, what's her name, Laura, in my ear. You can do this. Yeah, she's very posh, isn't she, Laura? Yeah, she's my favourite. But yeah, so if you're thinking of entering a half marathon, or if it's just your first race, you know, it could just be a 5k race, that's fine. Like, please message me, let me know if you want any tips. Like, more than happy to talk it through with you. Obviously I'm not a professional athlete. Like, I haven't had training in fitness, training for any of that really, so I can't really advise on medical stuff and things like that. I can only advise like what tips and tricks have helped me, and the main one, as I said, is slow it down and believe in yourself, and don't be too hard on yourself, because you can do anything that you set your mind to. But please do it carefully, please do it responsibly, please make sure that you're always safe, and yeah, get advice, medical advice, before you do it if you need to. And yeah, happy running, and I hope you enjoyed my video. I will insert some clips maybe at the end, or I think I've been inserting them all the way through. Thank you guys for watching and following along with my journey. I've really appreciated you being here, and yeah, please leave a comment down below and like, subscribe if you want to see more fitness, lifestyle, running content, because the running isn't going to stop for me now. I'm going to carry on running, and I'm going to carry on entering races, because I've just found that's what I really enjoy and what I want to do, and I love getting the medals and collecting all of those. I don't know, maybe one day my kids will be like, my mummy's got loads of medals, and hopefully I can still run at that point. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.